A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Are we ready? Are we ready? Let's begin. When you understand this binary states, your energy gets sharp. You don't just move randomly, you move like a sword. This is about knowing when to be on and when to be off, when to give, when to receive, when to disappear, when to take the mic. And most people, they're stuck in one state all the time. They either overshare, overstep, overcontrol, or they disappear completely. But listen, mastering this binary, 1 and 0, is like learning the language of divine timing. So then let's begin. Next. Introduction to binary states. Again, this isn't just a tech talk. This is soul architecture. In the unseen realm, everything is vibration, alignment, polarity. This idea of 1 and 0, it's a reflection of being. 1 is presence, it's action, it's radiance. 0 is absence, it's receptivity, it's stillness. The reality of being a female, feminine. 1 is masculine. When you're always on, you burn out. When you're always off, you fade. This is about switching at the right time, like breathing in and breathing out. Understanding on and off. Let me give it to you simple. Being on is when you're holding space, guiding, speaking, leading. Being off is when you're learning, listening, surrendering. It's not weakness, it's spiritual strategy. Alright? Think of a dog. With its master, it's soft, playful, humble, it's off. That's the off reality. But when danger shows up, it snaps on, ready to protect. That's not confusion, that's wisdom. And you, as a seeker, need to know when to switch. Off state. Surrender and receptivity. Off is powerful. When you're in prayer, you're off. You're not there to prove, you're there to receive. When you're learning, you're off. A full cup cannot be filled, but an empty one, it becomes a mirror. Being off isn't checking out, it's tuning in. You step back so something greater can step forward. Strategic surrender means you lower the ego so that guidance can descend. Does that make sense? And a lot of people, they don't get this concept. On state, action and leadership. But don't get it twisted, being on is also sacred. You don't always lead from ego, you lead from responsibility. A lot of the Naqshbandi sheikhs, majority of them, they didn't become a sheikh because they wanted to. They had no desire to be a sheikh. They didn't even understand that one day that they was going to become a sheikh. Right? One day the responsibility was just given to them. And they were like, whoa, me? Why me? There are those that are more capable and more competent than me. Why me? Because again, they didn't have the desire. Like Kung Fu Panda, right? He didn't understand that he was going to become the dragon warrior. Because he didn't care for it. He didn't really understand that, oh, me, a panda? But he had the reality of submission, like not caring too much about the title and the privileges that it comes with. So again, if you're not leading from your ego and you're leading from responsibility, you lead when others are lost. You step up when it counts. Like a teacher in a classroom, they cannot be passive. So in a classroom, you must understand, you as a teacher, you must be on. You need to command attention, be clear, be focused. This is why class clowns must get thrown out of the classroom, because again, they're coming against your oneness. Their attention has to be on you because you're the one teaching, you're the one pouring into their cup. So students sitting and you standing up represents you being one, and them sitting down represents them emptying themselves, them being empty, so that they can receive. That then has to be understood, because a lot of people don't get that concept. This is why you don't always sit in everybody else's, anyone and everyone's association, everyone's what do they call it, majlis. Because again, you're becoming a 0. Or at the same time, even if you are sitting in their majlis, sitting in their association, learn not to absorb what they're giving to you. Because everybody has their own agenda. Everybody's operating from their own sense of, they know what they're giving to you and they know why they're giving it to you. So then being on isn't about being dominant. It's about clarity, groundedness, service, right? When you're operating from a place of clarity and you're on, that's different than being egotistic. Now you're speaking from a place of clarity, place of understanding, and that confidence is there. Prophet ﷺ was the most on man in presence and the most off in the presence of his Lord. That's why Prophet ﷺ said he has two faces, one facing his Lord and one facing the Ummah. And there was another hadith when Prophet ﷺ was in the market with one of the Sahabas. He was saying he's physically in the market but he's spiritually elsewhere. And that's the mastery of on and off. Or at the same time knowing how to balance on and off. Misalignment of states. This is where people fall off. When you're on, you should be quiet. Otherwise you block divine flow. When you speak too soon, you reveal too much, you turn a sacred moment into noise. And females, I believe they understand this very well. Right? They know not to reveal too much. Whether when they go on a date or when they meet someone or when they are befriending someone, they know not to reveal too much. Right? They know how to harness information about that person or that environment without them revealing too much about themselves. And they're also very careful the way they craft their sentence. Again, if you're off, when the moment needs you to rise, you disappear, you lose the opportunity. You play small and people miss the light you carry. So know when to turn on, right? Know when to be off and know when to be on. Otherwise misalignment creates friction and friction burns your soul. So in this dunya, this is why I see this system of bureaucracy. This system of bureaucracy just causes friction, unnecessary friction. It doesn't allow you to gain any momentum because they understand if you can get the momentum going, you can overpower, obliterate anything. Because now you've got momentum on your side and this is exactly what they don't want. This is exactly what Shaitan doesn't want. This is why applying for anything or applying for a job or applying for a loan or applying for a mortgage, it's just so much friction, so much stress that they put up on you. And again, this is why if you walk away from the dunya and you build your soul and can get the momentum going, you can operate differently, you can operate outside of their matrix. But then that will open when you're ready. Because they don't want you to get any momentum going. So that you're just like, oh, I can't be asked, I don't want to achieve anything, I don't want to go out there do anything. Because there's so much friction. Unnecessary friction, right? Fill up this form, fill up that form. Like 40, 60 minutes just filling up forms. And then by the time you finish one or two questions, you think to yourself, is this even worth it? Do I really want it? And then you just walk away. You don't even apply for it. You don't even like finish it. It's like there's no need. There's no point of this. It's just making it long, making it too complicated. And that's what puts a lot of people off. And they know what they're doing. Keeping things superficial. There's a time to be deep and a time to be light. When you walk into new spaces, keep it surface. Why? Because they haven't earned access to your depth. So this is why if you go to these seminars or these motivational talks or whatever, a lot of the time you'll realize everything that they're talking about is basically the surface level stuff. They're not telling you anything that you don't already know. But for you to have access to their depth, you then have to pay more. Or you then have to pay the expensive ticket. Or you then have to join the inner circle. Pay for a membership. Like there's more to it. Right? So people don't just easily give you access to their depth and the things that they know. Right? They keep it surface, very surface level. Observe and you'll understand. People even in the way of business, they don't always tell you the deeper level knowledge. Like give you the surface level stuff, the things that you already know. And you think to yourself, this foolishness, you're wasting my time. So then again, it's not about being fake, it's about energy protection. Like you have to protect yourself. Guard your jewels. Can be kind, can be warm, but keep the sacred parts of you tucked behind the veil. People misuse what they don't understand. So again, if you give people golden nuggets and they want chicken nuggets, they're not going to understand the value of it. This is not chicken nugget. They'll throw it away. At the same time, showing people your tongue, if they don't come to you with their ears open, is of no value, right? What else do they say? That you don't adorn a pig with jewelry. You don't go to the barnyard and start giving out jewels and gems. They're not going to understand the value of it. So people that are imprisoned under the animal kingdom, you then also have to understand the reality of being a human, and those that are actually human and those that are still imprisoned under the animal kingdom and those that are still behaving like an animal. Do you see it? Costomato used to talk about this. And he was saying to Mike Tyson that you still don't understand the difference between a human and an animal. Right? Because those that approach you, a lot of them, they're still imprisoned under the animal kingdom, under the animal desires and things that they do. It's purely come from their egotistic desires. Right? It's egoic. It's not coming from their soul. They're not human yet, because again, you have to become a human. You're not born a human, you're born wild in your nature. This is why discipline is needed, discipline is important. This is why men, they accept discipline. Men, all they're trying to do in their life is to discipline themselves. The reason why they wake up in the morning, take a cold shower, do this, do that, go to the gym, why? It's not needed, it's artificial anyways, but it's to discipline themselves. Is it really needed for you to wake up in the morning, take a cold shower and it's freezing and your body is freezing, causing unnecessary difficulties upon yourself? Why? So that you can keep yourself disciplined. Right? It's as if yourself is obeying, yourself is listening to you, and it does whatever you want it to do. Right? Not just from a place of heedlessness and just, from your desires, from emptiness. That then has to be understood. In learning or strategy mode, you have to be off. Let inspiration come in. So if you want inspiration to come in, you have to turn yourself off. Right? Observe, prepare. In hostile environments, stay off. So this is why don't go to people or enter into environments that are hostile. People that don't know how to govern themselves accordingly. Because you have to learn to guard your soul. Don't flex too much, don't react too much. Just sense. Just walk through. Right? Because after some time, seeing anyone and everyone, speaking to anyone and everyone, watering relationships that are not going to be fruitful, it's not worth it. Because then you realize you're giving too much and you're not getting anything in return. So the return on your investment is not really paying off. It doesn't make sense. So you're putting in work for what? So again, it's not just, so you're selfish then. It's not about being selfish. In the way of spirituality, whether it's spiritual, mental, emotional, psychological, physical, financial, you always have to understand, what do you get out of this? Not you as in your ego, but you have to understand, what do I spiritually get out of this? What do I emotionally get out of this? What do I mentally get out of this? What do I physically get out of this? What do I financially get out of this? What do I psychologically get out of this? Because if you're not getting anything out of it, why would you give any time to it? Why would you give any attention to it? Has to be then understood. So it's not about you're mean or you're cold or you're selfish, nothing like that. It's just like, there's no benefit to this. So talking heedlessly, speaking heedlessly, talking about things that don't benefit your soul, it has no benefit. Walk away from it. Alright? And when it's time to speak, act, lead, step on with presence. But then people also have to be appreciative. They have to appreciate that reality, and they also have to then understand these things, like what's taking place, right? If you go to a comedy club, for example, and this guy is being a comedian, it's not your time to shine as well. It's not your time to outshine him, right? Your job is to go there and enjoy the comedy, enjoy the jokes he's making. If you don't like it, if you don't want to hear the jokes that he has to make, don't go there. Stay at home. So that's sort of how it is. In the way of anything. Now then, balancing on and off. Mastery is balance. But then again, it's more to do with prioritizing. As a result of prioritizing what's important and what's not, balance then begins to manifest itself. Like balance just automatically happens. Because you understand what you're supposed to prioritize and what you're not supposed to give too much attention to. Being not too loud, not too passive, not always chasing, not always retreating. Has to be then understood. Otherwise you become like a dog again. Right? So then again, when you're like a dog, you have to understand, alert when needed, soft when safe. Right? When you're safe, you're soft. So if you can make the environment welcoming, people feel this environment is welcoming, they'll automatically open up. You don't have to force them to open up. Right? Oh, you're always so serious, you don't open up, you don't say much. That's because this environment, it feels uneasy. Your energy feels uneasy. Does that make sense? So that's the reality of also Ashab al-Kahf, the dog of Ashab al-Kahf, right? It was guarding the 7 sleepers of the cave. And deeper still, you begin to feel when the divine wants you on and once he wants you off. So when the divine wants you on, you become on. And that's the reality of being Jalali. Jalali and Jamali. Jalali is heated, Jamali is beatific. Again, that's surrender, that's leadership, that's walking with the light. So when the divine wants you to be on, you have to be on. Is this it? We talked about on and off. Ah. Okay then, so mastering binary states is not about cold logic, you have to understand it. It's about superficial, not superficial, it's about spiritual intelligence.